This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Well, hello. So excited about today. This is Portfolio Lab. By the way, if you don't know me, I'm Steve Carty. I've been doing Portfolio Lab. It kind of just hit me today. I've been doing this for 4 years. It wasn't always on YouTube, and it wasn't always called Portfolio Lab, but I've been helping photographers on the internet since 2021. Like 4 years. I've been really going hard on these photo reviews. It's had several different names. It was once called just Photo Reviews, and then it was Ask a Photo Pro and Behind the Picture. I used to do photo reviews at the end of every podcast. Like, the evolution of this is insane over the 4 years that I've been doing it. And now what Portfolio Lab is it's geared specifically photographers that are trying to be pros, photographers that are trying to develop their work to a pro level, a level that's worthy of getting paid. And believe me, if you're not getting paid for your photography yet, it's not because there's no work. There's absolutely work out there. There's tons of it. But if you're not getting it, it just means that your work is not developed yet to the level where you're attracting attention from the people who have the power to hire you. So that's why I made Portfolio Lab. I've been a professional photographer for 3.5 decades. Such a long time, actually, when you think about it. I started shooting pictures when I was 14. So I just passed 40 years of photography, 40 years, which is insane. I went professional when I was 20. I also went to photography school, the best photography school in the country, the same year that I went pro. I was working, I was getting jobs, and I had to drop out and either shit or get off the pot. So I dropped out, got a studio, started working. That was in 1991. And I've been a working photographer ever since. And I'm proud, meaning I'm too proud to fail. I'm too proud to take another job. And I have kids too. I have kids. It's not like when I had kids, like back in 2007, I had my daughter. In 2008, I had my son. How hard I worked then was even harder to get to the point where my career was really starting to move. I got to tell you, I started in my 20s and things started to rock in my 20s. In my 30s, things started to get better. In my 40s, things started to get even better. Although, still a little bit of feast and famine in my 40s. It's when I kind of rested on my laurels in my 40s. That's when kind of things like late 30s, early 40s was a little bit of a dip. And then late 40s, early 50s, just after COVID, we really started to now we're going to the moon. So I'm not a YouTuber. Don't get it twisted. I am not a YouTuber. I'm on YouTube for sure. I'm on YouTube, but I'm not a YouTuber. Please do not mix me up with any of the other YouTubers that you watch on YouTube. I'm one of those guys on YouTube who is an actual photographer. This is Pharrell and Colin Firth. And I've been doing it, as I've said, for 3.5 decades. You can go to stevecarty.com if you want to see more of my work, and Ludacris and Cardinal and Chantel Kreviasik and Ja Rule. And if you go up here and click tear sheets, you can actually see Michael Sheen for Hamlet and the work that I shot for The Porter, which was on BET, CBC, and now Netflix. And I've shot for Vogue Singapore and Say Yes to the Dress. And it's just really important for you when you're watching someone on YouTube. When you're watching someone on YouTube talk to you about professional photography or talk to you about the business of photography, it's really important for you to look at who that person is and what their commercial photography work looks like if they're trying to teach you professional photography. That is my suggestion. And again, my goal, I'm not going to call anybody out. Not going to call anybody out, but just look. Go to your favorite YouTubers, see how, like the ones with the highest subscribers, and do this. Look at their website. Look at their personal website and see if it sells any photography. If it's just selling presets, LUTs, and their Instagram account. Be very wary of people who are calling themselves photographers on YouTube. I am a photographer, and I'm not really here to impress you. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I am trying to do is help you develop your work. So if developing your work is important, then Portfolio Lab is the place for you. So excited. We got some new members. Let's go. A whole bunch of people signed up after last week's episode. So if you're one of those new people who signed up, let's go. Congratulations. Thank you for finally choosing a feedback loop. Thanks for finally choosing a feedback loop. So someone can actually help you get to the next level with your work. Feedback loop. That's it. That's what I am. I am just your peer. I'm not your boss. You don't owe me anything. It is just, I'm like another photographer, just like you. I just happen to care enough about your success to help you because I don't have an ego like that. I don't think that me helping you get work hurts the work that I get, because with photography, it's all about style and niche and what you shoot and how you shoot it and what you bring to the table. So excited. Let's get into week 16. We have some submissions. So Tuesdays, by the way, I look at pictures that you're considering for your portfolio. Okay. I look at pictures that you're considering for your portfolio. And then on Thursday, I give you a pro level assignment. This week's assignment is pretty simple. I want to see your niche in black and white. So for Thursday, and by the way, Thursday, I forgot even to tell you guys, Thursday I have a shoot. I have a shoot Thursday. I'm teaching, it's not really a shoot, but I'm teaching some high school kids photography, and I'm teaching, hey, welcome, Kiara. And I'm helping them, basically they created a clothing line, and then they're also doing all their own social media marketing for their clothing line. So because I work for I teach at many schools, I've been hired, and it was first going to be Tuesday. It was first going to be today, but now they've moved it to Thursday because the product didn't come. So I have to do this thing on Thursday. So I'm not going to be able to do the show on Thursday. So here's my options. I do the show one day early, or I do the show one day late. So I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to my cartel, and we're going to figure out if Thursday's show we do tomorrow or if we do it on Friday, because I'm not going to be able to. But guess what? I might be able to live stream for my members. I might be able to live stream what's happening in as I'm teaching these kids to shoot and light and all that stuff. So anyways, we'll see how that day goes. That's Thursday. So let's see. Should it be Wednesday or Thursday? Anton wants a poll. So Anton, that's a great idea. So let's do a poll. Wednesday or, okay, I'm just going to do Wednesday or Thursday. Sorry, guys. We're just doing a little poll here. Boom. All right. So you guys can tell me what you would like me to do. All right. So your niche in black and white is our pro level assignment this week. I'm either going to be reviewing it a day early or a day late. All right. Let's get into this week's submission, starting with a new member. His name is Kyle Kiono. So Kyle says it's his first review. He started photography in February this year. He's driving home from a camping trip. The kids haven't showered. It's just their raw form. So he was intentional in the placement of the subjects. He included some pieces of fruit to add character to the story. He wanted to have a movie poster vibe. He's pleased with the results and he appreciates the feedback. Also, you're very welcome about Myron. Okay, A7, 4 with a 16 to 35 millimeter 2.8, ISO 100, 250 to the second, shot at 29 millimeters at f4. This is shot natural light. This is Kyle Kiyono. Kyle, let's get it on. Welcome, Kyle. Thanks for submitting. So this is a yes for me, bro. This is a yes for me, and it does have a movie poster vibe, but the problem is I think like you're doing too much post. I think that there's too much post-production here on the back end. And what that's doing is it's making, you can see what your kid's skin is doing now because you're just going crazy on the sliders in Photoshop. You're just going crazy. Now, in this kind of a context, you can shoot this and compose this like a movie poster, which you did, and it's compositionally strong. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that you can do in order to make it better in a second, but I can't get past the post. I want you to look at what current photographers' post-production looks like. So if you see what my post-production looks like and how true to life skin is, do this for me. Don't you do the post-production like it's a movie poster. Let the art director, the designer, do that to your work, okay? Because that over-treated kind of look and feel to photography is very, and the only time it exists is kind of within like the movie poster space. It's heavily Photoshop based, and what's going on right now in 2025 is not skin looking like that. Like, and that's coming from what you're doing in post-production. Like, I just want you to see the difference of the skin. And so for me, your next submission, I need you to like think composition, but don't then kill it, Kyle, in post-production, okay? Like, pull it way back. The next thing that I want you to watch, the leading line is really good here, okay? Like, you have really strong leading line that's bringing you to your subjects, which is great. There's a couple of problems. For me, keeping these two on the same plane, putting your daughter front, and like now she's not only taller, but now you're putting her forward, which almost looks like you're prioritizing one child over the other. Now, I know you're trying to do this cool thing with the apples and blah, 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 but you have to kind of have these two kids even and equal, which also depth of field wise, when you start shooting these pictures with different lenses and not wide, when you're not shooting wide, meaning you're shooting at 50 millimeter or greater, when you shoot less than 50 millimeter and you're shooting vertical, the lines start to bend this way. Now, you don't have anything straight in here in order to show you that, but wide angle by its very... Thursday. Sorry, I did mean Friday and not Thursday. Sorry, Kenny. Okay, if it says Thursday there in the poll, that actually means Friday. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do too many things. Okay, so Kyle, wide angle is made to shoot this way. The wide angle lens was made for landscapes. That's what it was made for, to show more in the scene. So the wide angle lens is made to hold horizontal, because what happens is there's all kinds of aberration that happens here and here. So when you because it bends this way, when you hold it that way, it actually extends how wide the scene is. But when you shoot vertical, wide angle and people, that's not something that I want you, that's not a habit that I want you to continue further. I don't want you to be thinking vertical, wide. If you're shooting wide angle, hold your camera this way. It's a double page spread. You bias your subject on the quarters, meaning 1/2 of one page. You leave nothing in the center, so there's a gutter. Like, watch any of my other reviews. But when you're holding a camera vertical, you have to shoot with a 50, because the 50 millimeter makes it like it's normal, and it's the beginning of getting a little bit of depth of field. And also, Kyle, you'll notice I don't shoot zooms, because zooms are for lazy people. Zooms are the person who is like, I just want to bring one lens, but I want to be able to do everything. So you bring like a sub quality lens in order to like, I mean, again, that's just my own personal opinion. For me, I'm like one focal length kind of guy. I'll go out with a 50. I'll go out with a 16 millimeter. I'll go out with an 85. I'll go out with a 100. So, and again, I'm not I have to take pictures in any kind of a situation kind of a guy. And if you're an editorial portrait photographer, Kyle, which I think that you are, and I think that that's why you're here to help, so I can help you develop into that. I want to help you with like these rules, because when you're shooting vertical and you're shooting with a 50 or an 85, what you end up getting is depth of field, and you get your subject feeling like it's separate from the background. What happens when you shoot wide angle vertical? Let me tell you a secret, Kyle. How do I know that you didn't shoot this with an iPhone? Because this is exactly what an iPhone looks like, is wide angle. When you hold it vertical, this is exactly what a phone picture looks like. So please don't buy a Sony A7R3 or 4 or 5 or 7 or 9 and then put a wide angle lens on it and hold it vertical and then look at your screen like here, like you're looking at an iPhone, instead of holding the camera up to your eye the way that pros shoot. And like, you're basically making an iPhone look. And now that I say, does this not look like an iPhone picture? And the reason is because you're shooting wide angle vertical and an infinite depth of field. And that infinite depth of field, now our eye goes way down here and we're seeing the mountains and all, like, you're taking us away from that. We need separation. And how we do that separation is we shoot this with a 50. It still has leading line, but the focus stops here. And then all of this back here just goes out of focus. But the light, and like, we still know that it's leading line, but our eye stops at your subject, at the important thing, which is these two kids. So the other thing is your horizon line. If you can see also, you're dropping that, like, your vanishing point, like, very, like, it's like dead center in the frame, Kyle. So like, we don't have to be that literal. Like, where we drop the horizon line in here is we drop the horizon line down here. We pull the horizon line down, which now elevates your kids and has this not going through their bodies, but that now it's going down here. And then their bodies are like, it kind of elevates them. So we don't shoot wide angle vertical because we're pros and we're trying to make our stuff not look like iPhone. Pull your horizon line down. Just don't drop it right in the center of your frame. It's too rudimentary. Just like push it down just a bit. But listen, I have to compliment you, Kyle, because you saw this location. You stopped, you dropped the apple, like, you did all the right things. It's just, you have not had this kind of feedback before. I want you to look at this as a cover. Like, you're on your way and you're a really good shooter. Portfolio Lab is going to change your life, bro. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life, because you'll see the kind of details that I see, and now you'll start seeing them, and you'll pre-edit yourself before you shoot, and you'll slow down, and you'll be way more deliberate. This horizon line thing is going to change your game. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of photographers that have taken my advice on the horizon line. I'm going to show you just one. And let me show you how powerful it is, okay? Have a look at how powerful it is when you push the horizon line down. This is one of my accelerator members, Charles, who's also in Portfolio Lab. Do you see how powerful it is when you push the horizon line down and don't shoot wide angle? You shoot with a 50 and there's no distortion. Like, you see how powerful it is when you push the horizon line down and your subject is up against sky and not up against busyness. You see how powerful it is when you push your horizon line down? So, this photo was one of the first photos of Charles that I reviewed. And then afterwards, he subsequently started shooting like this. Afterwards, he started subsequently pushing his horizon line down. So, Kyle, first photographer of the day. I hope that helps you. This is Kyle Kiyono. Kyle, well done, buddy. Thanks for submitting. Welcome. Welcome. And again, you see the difference between me reviewing your photo, Kyle, and you at home. You see the difference between me reviewing your photo and you watching me review someone else's. Do you see the difference? Do you see how now exactly you, Kyle, now you, Kiyono, you now know what you have to do the next time you shoot. It's not like, I appreciate everybody who watches me review other people's photos, but I'm doing this for the 19 people who submitted today. Everyone else who's watching, you should be in Portfolio Lab. End of story. Because if not, you are just observing this just like you're watching Netflix. Like you're just watching, but you're not doing. These people are putting their fucking heart and their work on the line and getting like judged. But what happens next? They grow. They grow. They grow and they outgrow you at home on your phone watching this. So I commend everybody who has the courage to put their work up. And Kyle, let's go, Kyle. Kyle, look. Kyle, you made Jordan cry, bro. Kyle just gifted his first membership. Yo, Smoke Machine, wake up. Kyle just gifted his first membership to the channel. Yes. Kyle, you're a king. Thank you so much, bro. That smoke's for you. All right, everybody. Just so you know, this is what we do here at Portfolio Lab. Hey, yo, Paolo. Welcome, Pavlo. Welcome, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for subscribing. If this is bringing you value, know that this doesn't exist on YouTube anywhere. Like this kind of back and forth doesn't exist on YouTube anywhere. Like ask yourself why your favorite YouTube creators don't do live streams. Ask why. You know why? Because they might get asked a question that they can't answer. Have you ever thought of that? Why more photographers don't go live on YouTube? Is because maybe they're not able to answer the questions that you might have. Do you know how confident I am? You know how confident I am about answering your questions? I pretty much prefer live. I prefer live because there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. So, Brandon Garner. Brandon is a new member. Brandon, welcome. Thanks for submitting. Brandon shot this in his home studio with a couple of Godox MX300 strobes. This is a Nikon D7500 with a 35mm lens, ISO 200, 1/200 at 5.6. All right, this is Mr. Heyo Malik. Malik just became a member. Malik stepping up to the microphone. Let's get it on, Malik. Malik, you're going to smoke me out today, you guys. If you guys keep joining and you see this number down here, we're trying to get this number. I'm trying to get 1,000 members. Right now I'm at it says 181, but that's not the real number. It's a little bit less than that. All right, guys, but we are trying to get to 1,000. All right, so this is Brandon Garner. Brandon says, shot in his home studio with a Nikon D7500. I already went through all that. Let's get into Brandon. Brandon Garner. Brandon, thanks for submitting. All right, Mista, let's get it on. So first off, I really appreciate the fact that you're shooting in studio and trying. There's a couple of post-production things. There's a couple of eye contact things. There's a couple of like, she's not exactly comfortable kind of thing. When we're practicing, obviously we practice on who's closest and we grab like, and again, I'm not making any offense to anybody who's in your subject or your friend or your wife or your partner or whoever, but it's your role to get them comfortable. Because for me, I have this policy. I can photograph anybody, anytime, any place with any camera. Like that's just how I roll. So we also have the ability to photograph anybody, any place, anytime with any camera, but we have to make the best photograph for them. And oftentimes, as a photographer, we have an idea for a photo and then we just put a subject in that photo that we have an idea for. But sometimes the idea for the person is not, or the idea for the photo, it's not the right person for the photo. There's a couple of things here. Number one, the chair backwards makes it so she has something to lean on, which makes it really easy to pose, but it also dominates too much of the frame. It's dominating way too much of the frame. I really want to know what she's looking at because she's not connecting with the viewer. And the quickest way to get the person who, like, understand, we're not shooting photos for us. This is something that you have to lock in. We are not making photos for us. It has nothing to do with us. And if we shoot people, we're actually not even making the photo for the person who's in the photo. I mean, especially if you're making work to get work. If you're making work to get work, then the only person that you can care about is the observer, which is the third party, which we have no control over. We have no control over, once you put the picture out there, I mean, you put everything into it, your subject put everything into it, but then it gets put out to the public and then they judge. And you're not there to be like, like you're not there to make excuses. And whenever you put something out into the world, what you're doing is saying, number one, I 100% agree with everything in this picture. Number two, I stand behind it. And number three, it's the best that I can do. So anytime you put something out there, that's what we are saying. And the reason that Portfolio Lab is so important is because having your photos reviewed here and hearing the hard truths, it's inconsequential. All it does is help you because I'm not a client. I'm not paying you. So because of that, there's no consequence. All you're doing is getting better. So when you are in a situation where you're dealing with clients, you know the right things. And you're not making work that people are like, because you've never gone through this kind of scrutiny. So this is how I got to the level that I am. And all the photographers that assisted me, that are all now pros, how they got to their level is the scrutiny. So only like 5% of photographers who say they want to be a photographer work. Only 5%. So Brandon, there's a couple of things here with your photo. The first thing that I'm seeing is her hand. Her hand here is not naturally like placed. It's not like she's clawing. Do you see what I mean? She's clawing because she's holding her hand here. And she also has a place to rest her elbow. So it becomes really easy for her to just claw. Whenever you're having and again, when you're new, I always say, don't let your subject touch their face. Just don't let your because you're too new to be doing things with hands, which is really advanced, especially when you're still working on light, concept, idea, and all of that stuff. So, and posing. So the hand position is not exactly right. The exposure on the face, this is over by at least a half a stop because her skin here is going almost white. So exposure here, and also you can see it looks as though you're lighting her forehead more than you're lighting the rest of her face. You can see this exposure here is normal. We'll call that normal, but the exposure here is hot. So this is meaning over. So this is stuff that I look at when I look at photographs. And now that I'm zooming in and you see the hand, you can see what I mean about the hand, right? So Brandon, I'm not sure where you are on your journey. I mean, again, you're brand new. So these early images really help me. But what I can tell you is I'm seeing all your mistakes. Oops. I'm seeing the fact that you made the background black. Like I'm seeing that you darkened here. And the reason that I can see that is because I can see here on the other side of the hair, where you couldn't darken, how gray it is. Like you see how gray it is here versus how black it is here. So I know you came down and darkened that. And the other reason that I know that is because I'm imagining that this is black paint and should render much blacker, but isn't, because you darkened the other, but didn't want to darken here because you would lose detail because your exposure is off. So this picture exposure wise is a bit of a mess, and shooting before you truly nail and understand exposure, like this is what I say when people are trying to run before they walk. I don't know how far you are on your photography journey. For me, this picture, it's a little bit of a miss. Eye contact would really have helped. Both her arms this way would have really helped. And not trying to make that background black, because the only way you can render black is with velvet. You don't like, you want it to have a highlight, but then you want it to go jet black back there. And it's like, you can't really have both of those. What my suggestion would be is you have to buy magazines. You have to buy magazines, Brandon, because when you buy magazines, you see the level of work that are in magazines. So magazines will really help you. It's going to help you with posing. It's going to help you with the kind of subjects that, I mean, if you're trying to get hired, you have to have you have to have a discerning eye as far as who goes in your portfolio. So for me, again, I think that this is close, but I think that there's too many technical mistakes with this picture that I caught that anyone else would also catch. Like these wrinkles under here, that's what your background looks like. Like I can see, and again, it's cloth. But then over here, where it would also be shown, you darkened that, but then didn't darken that because then you would have lost all that detail. That tells you that you should have not shot a black chair against black pants, which means her pants were the wrong color against this dark background. So we need contrast. It's like light pants, dark background, light pants, like that kind of difference. The shine in this case for me isn't enough. I hope that helps you, Brandon. Again, for me, my suggestion is I want to see a natural light shot, and I also need to know what you would classify your niche to be, so I can kind of understand what kind of a photographer that you're trying to be. Also, with the lighting, make sure your placement is perfect, because just having the light off just a bit, like you can see, this is totally different light than when it's actually aimed at me. So I live in nuance, Brandon. You'll notice that I'm very nuanced. I don't miss anything. And I try to help you so you don't miss anything either. I hope that helps you. That is Brandon Garner. Thanks for submitting, Brandon. Appreciate you. All right, that is Brandon Garner. This is Kevin Curtis, also a new member. Kevin, do I have any of my people in Notion today? Any of my people in Notion? Any of the Carty Cartel in my Notion? This is Kevin Curtis. Kevin shot a white Porsche, spelled incorrectly, at dawn. Just signed up this morning. Wanted to submit something from my most recent shoot to get the ball rolling. I had the morning to take this limited edition Porsche 911 Dakar out, and I really like this location with the gloomy weather. Wicked, Kevin. A7R4 with the Sigma Art Lens 24-70, ISO 160, a 30th of a second at 2.8. This is Mr. Kevin Curtis. Kevin, well, let's get it on. Bro, this is a vibe, but I love it, but I have to show you something that you can never forget, okay? You can never forget this. Promise me, Kevin, you're never going to forget this. Imagine this. I'm Portia, and I'm like, oh my God, Kevin, I love this image so much. Can you just send it to the art direction team? We're considering this for a double page spread in a magazine as an ad. And you're like, oh my God, that's so amazing. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. And then guess what? The art director comes back and they're like, oh, sorry, Kevin. We put the double page overlay over top of your photo to see what your image would look like across 2 pages. But because you didn't step back 2 feet and move over 2 feet and center the Porsche here on this page, because you didn't do that, I can't use this photo. So now I can't use this photo for the uses that I wanted to use it for, which is 2 pages in a magazine. This is so close, Kevin. So close, but you have the grid lines on your camera. I know you do because you're shooting to them. You have the grid lines on your camera. So inside your camera, it goes like this. You have the thirds, and then you have the thirds, and then you have the thirds, and then you have the thirds. Yes or yes? And then you shot this picture and was like, yes, I nailed the composition, because you're following the rule of thirds. So the rule of thirds does not apply when it comes to applied commercial photography. And you need to hear this. You need to hear it let this ring in your brain. You cannot have anything important on the center, because you have to always be thinking of how will this be used. Okay, so imagine you want this to be used across 2 pages in a magazine, but because you didn't shoot it the right way, now my only choice as the art director, my only choice is to put this on 1/2 of 1 page, which means now you've gone from getting 2 pages in the magazine to now I can only give you there, or there, or there, or there. So now you've gone from a double page to a 1/2 page. You've gone from double money to half money just because of your composition. So I'm not a car photographer, but I coach so many car photographers to get to the level where they know how to shoot for layouts, like Sean Thomas, who, and again, Kevin, this is a fucking wicked picture. I want you to understand that this is a wicked picture, but you shot it wrong. And you need to know that part as well. And how you shoot this is you bias it this way. So this car fits on a double page. And you can see the way that you've composed this, like there's not really a way that I can make this work. Let me tell you another secret. When you shoot horizontal, you cannot crop. 2 pages in a magazine is 2x3. Okay, and I'm going to tell you the exact measurements is 18 across and 12 down. Okay, 18 by 12 is 3x2, which is the exact proportion of your sensor uncropped. It's a 2x3 proportion. And the reason that cameras, I'm going to break your brain. The reason that cameras are 2x3 is it's the same proportion as 2 pages in a magazine. Oh my God. Do you mean cameras were made when you hold it this way? for layouts. That's the reason that magazines are sized the way that they are. We're still shooting for print. We're still shooting for print, whether you think that we are or not. We're still shooting for print because the top 1% understand this stuff and everybody else doesn't. So they just drop their subjects dead center. And then they wonder why they get web jobs, but they don't get print jobs. So because I understand print, how to shoot a cover, how to shoot double page spreads, and I teach it, look at what the result of that is. Because I know how to shoot print and I understand print, this is a double page magazine ad. Like, look at like CD covers, movie posters, because I understand that photography is just part of the final product. The final product always involves text. It always involves layout. It always involves your work fitting within a format, which again, why does this guy always talk about print? Why does this guy always? Because the top 1% shoot for more magazines than you, like, oh my God. Like I've shot for magazines you've never even heard of. There's still a million magazines out there, still, and they still hire. Just go into Google and type editorial portraits Toronto and see who comes up. That's how I shoot all these international magazines, is because I understand print. I understand how to shoot for print. So if you don't, you are just cutting out so many opportunities for yourself because you're just shooting for you without and doing this. So, Kevin, I'm going to turn you into a fucking assassin because you're good. You can shoot, but you have to also see like Sean Thomas and the way like I've drilled in shooting double page spreads to this guy. Look at how his work lays out. And when you see him shoot, it always works for double page. When you see him shoot a horizontal, because he's in my program, it's locked off. You see, it's like built in, because Sean's been in my portfolio lab for a year. And this entire portfolio was built with me. And I even curated it. And I did this live. You can watch the show. So I know car photography and I help people become the top 1%. So welcome, Buddy Call. Thanks for being here. Even this shot, I was pissed off at Sean because he clipped the nose. I was really pissed off here because he clipped the nose. So this is the level of detail that we have to have when it comes to photography. Like, there's no corners to be cut. And again, Sean, a year and a half ago, was walking around seeing cars that he liked on the street and taking pictures of them as they stood. So this is now Sean Thomas. And intent is the vibe. Like, where will this picture go? How will it be used? And again, Sean, I'm very looking forward to some of your new work. Some of your double page clip a little bit, but I'm just showing this new car photographer. His name is Kevin, and he's a killer. Like, honestly, Sean, you better be worried about this guy. Like, seriously. And he could be the new Sean Thomas if you don't catch up with yourself, bro. Because this guy just found me, and he just signed up. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you good love. This is an 11. You have to understand this is an 11, but what I showed you today, Kevin Curtis, what I showed you is something that, like, thank God I showed you that. Thank God I showed you that. Like, because that just unlocks so much for you. I have, if you go into your, because you're in Portfolio Lab, if you go into your valuable resources, I have these overlays that I lay over top of these photos. Like I actually give you these. It's called my magazine overlay pack. So you can actually overlay these and see what your pictures will look like in a magazine before you submit them to me. It'll help you so much. Kevin, welcome. Guys, that was Kevin Curtis. Thanks for submitting, Kevin. Let's ramp this shit up. I'm going slow today with these new guys. Mike Graves. Mike says, hey, Carty and crew, new member here. Can I add this photo to my portfolio? Shot in a dark bar. Artist Chaos. Never heard of him. Thanks for your feedback. A7 4 Sigma 35mm ISO 2500 200 per second at 1.2 off camera flat at 1.2. I worry, Mike, shooting Chaos at 1.2. Let's see, Mr. Mike Graves. Mike, let's get it on. Mike Graves. Wow, man, Chaos is getting old, bro. This guy's had too many nights out, too many nights of partying. I actually can't fucking believe that this is Chaos. Wow, bro. Wow. This is what happens when you drink too much. I'm trying to understand, Mike, whether you're trying to take pictures or make pictures. Like that's my angle. Are you trying to take pictures or are you trying to make pictures? Because this is taking pictures of something that's happening. Although you lit it, he's performing, so there's probably not any pose control, or venue control, location control, like shoot him in a place where it doesn't have squiggly neon through his face and stuff like that. And again, your position, the horizon line kind of coming through his head this way, these squiggles, like for me, like live photography, like you'll notice, like I really try to steer people away from taking pictures of things that are happening. Like this, like live photography, is this what you're trying to do? Are you trying to be the guy who shows up and gets to shoot 3 songs? And like, if this is what you're trying to do, I'm going to try to curb you away from it. Like you're showing me the exact thing that I would have saw if I was standing there. Now, if I was standing there, because I'm in Toronto too, and if I was standing there with my camera, now you're competing with me. And guess what? We have the same photo of the same guy in the same outfit doing the same thing. So there's no value. There's no value. Buddy call. Becoming a member of Portfolio Lab, go to thecartymethod.com/Portfolio Lab. It's all there, okay? Becoming a member of this channel, you just hit the join button. But they're two different things. Like becoming a member of the channel and me submitting and looking at your photos are two totally different things. So that's the part, like, yeah, this YouTube and the Carty Method are two separate businesses. These people are involved in the Carty Method and I'm just reviewing them on YouTube. All right. So what I need help with from you, Mr. Mike Graves, is are you taking pictures or are you making pictures? If you're trying to make pictures, like you're in the right place. If you're trying to take pictures, there's no value in the guy who shows up at the thing with their camera because you're just photo guy. And if you're not there, then someone else is, and then they're photo guy. You know, so I make pictures that no one else can make. And the only way that you're going to get to the next level is if you make pictures that no one else can make, which means don't show up someplace with your camera, take a picture, and then think that that picture goes in your portfolio. Because it's like, who cares? Like, and I'm not trying to be so dry, but literally, you're in my city. Therefore, I'm your competition. Me. I'm your competition. I'm in your city. So, and if you want to look at what I do and notice, if I'm going to see Chaos, I'm not bringing my camera. You know why? Because I don't want to be associated with that kind of a photographer. That kind of a photographer that shows up anywhere with their camera and takes a photo. Like, that can't be your work. Your work has to come from here. I have an idea. I'm going to execute an idea. And then I'm going to get so good at executing my own ideas that those ideas are going to attract other people, and then people are going to hire me to execute ideas for them. But that's not live. And if it's live photography in Toronto, well, then that's Richard Belland. Richard Belland owns that space. He owns that space. He's been photographer. There it is. Like, this guy owns this space. Like, you can't, like, you would have to kill this guy in Toronto. Come on, website. Like, you'd have to kill this guy in Toronto in order to be a photographer that shoots live. This is the guy. He shoots absolutely every single thing that's happened. His website's kind of jumping the shark because he's now showing everything, but his live work, like, he shoots like everybody, and he shows by year. Like, he shoots U2 and Coldplay, and like, so again, the fact that he has, oh, and by the way, this is a little secret. If he could make a living just shooting rock shows, then that's all he would show. Now he's showing studio stuff. Now he's showing random stuff. Now he's showing real estate. Now he's showing, like, you can see, like, personally, that's because you can't make a living being the guy who's just showing up to take pictures of shit that's happening on stage. Like, so, all of this to say, again, cool picture, and again, it's composed well. You understand cover composition. It's exposed well, but like, I hate to be so dry as to say nobody cares. What people do care about is when he's not on stage and he's having a private moment. He's sitting in a booth, he's drinking, he's got a cigarette or whatever. Shoot that picture. That's when you go over and be like, hey, Chaos, can I shoot your portrait? And then you bring your light and then you shoot that picture. Not while he's, because again, you're showing me something that I see a million times. We see people doing this into microphones all the time. We can watch, there's music videos. How we bring something new to the table as photographers is show something that I wouldn't see. Show me something I wouldn't see with Chaos. That makes a magazine picture. That makes something that people would spend $10 to buy that magazine because your picture's on the cover and it shows a different thing. So that never exists when you're making these kinds of photos. So I hope that helps you. I hope that it's not discouraging because, again, it's your first submission. You asked me a question, Mike Graves. Should this picture go to your portfolio? I say no, it shouldn't, because it creates the wrong message. It shows you like saying you are super happy with being a photographer at this level, which is level 1, taking pictures. Level 2, making pictures, doing your own ideas, making pictures of your own ideas. That's level 2. Level 3, executing ideas, making photos for other people. 1, 2, 3. This is level 1. So level 1, even if you're using light, it's still level 1. Just don't waste time doing that and waste time practicing light, executing your ideas. Super simple. Just shift what your focus is and stop going to rock shows and shooting pictures. It's useless. I hope that helps you. That is Mike Graves shooting Once Was Cool Chaos. All right. Yeah, that guy, he ruined his own shit, bro. His own attitude and the way that he was with people. He just, I don't know. Like that guy, the way that he was with me. That's why I've never photographed him. So, anyways. Adam Lee, another new member. Here's a photo shoot I did over the weekend in a parking garage. I love shooting in parking garages. Interested in your feedback. Z8, 50mm 1.2, 250 1.2. Okay, new people. You're the second one that has a 1.2 lens and is shooting 1.2. I have 1.2 lenses, never shoot 1.2. Ever. Because it's too narrow a line of focus. It's too narrow. Like if the person breathes, it's out of focus. So too many shooting at 1.2. stop shooting at 1.2, okay? If you stop shooting wide open in general, the sharpest aperture is 1 1/3, 1 1/2, 2 stops down from wide open. And wide open, you're gonna get this eye in focus, that eye out of focus. This eye in focus, the nose out of focus, mouth out of focus. It's too shallow. So please stop shooting 1.2, okay? This is Adam Lee, shooting with the Z8, 50 millimeter 1.2, 250th of a second at 1.2, ISO 100. Stop shooting 1.2, please. This is Adam Lee, new member. Thanks for submitting. Adam, this is a vibe. There's a lot going on. The contrast is wrong, and there's no need in this context to shoot 1.2. Actually, there's no need to, because if you think about it, you don't need bokeh, you don't need depth of field, and you're shooting 250th of a second, 1.2 to ISO 100. Just go to ISO 400. You're not getting any noise, any difference, and you're getting the safety of knowing that you have a little bit more depth of field. So this is Adam. Let's look at this a little bit closer, Adam. What I want you to see is gray. Like skin is gray. Tar is gray, even black jeans is gray, background is gray, this is gray. Like there's not any like white, like there's no highlight. Even her fingernails, like, which is the whitest thing in the thing, that's gray as well. So overall, when you look at this photo, I see gray because like there's no contrast. Like there needs to be something that's white. So this can be saved in processing, but I also want you to notice that like this is your background, okay? Your subject's in a window. Now, if you have very graphic straight lines, you have to hit your subject straight on. You can't hit your subject this way, the way that you did. Because you hit your subject this way, well, now this line's not straight. But like, so you see how everything kind of converges out? And again, although it's like cool, it takes you away from what you're trying to show, which is this subject. You're trying to do too many things. You're trying to be an architecture photographer and a people photographer. What the main photo, like there's too many line convergence that are like pulling you actually out of the photo. All of this is pulling you out of the photo, including her foot, the guitar, like, and her eye looking that way, also taking you out of the photo. The photo here exists within this very short space. If you want to do this like frame within a frame idea, okay, but to me, like her leaning against this wall, standing up, playing guitar, end of story. Like super, super simple, like just leaning against it and try to just like, then I see her. Right now, I don't see her, and she's looking beyond her nose. Like her nose is pointing at you, okay? But her eyes are looking way that way, which just shows the goo in her eye instead of showing her eye. And if you want me to connect with your subject has to look at the viewer. Remember earlier I said this, our subjects is not what the photo's about. The photo's not about us. It's about the viewer. That's the only thing that we're shooting for, is the person who's seeing it, and we have no control over them. We have no control. So when you're shooting a photo and your subject is doing this, guess what? You're not connecting with the one person that you have to connect with, the person who's looking at the photo. And that you can't control. You can't control. So if you want to hold them, well, you have to punch in. You have to get closer, but now you're not close. You're quite far back. So this is like an architecture photo that you put a person in it. So although she probably loved it, the client's probably happy, but the one thing that we're trying to get, especially when we're shooting no-name musicians, is brand. We're trying to get brand identity, and you can't show her brand if you're so far away. I appreciate you showing full length, but just to give you a secret, look at how close up I shoot my photos. Like when you look at my work, look how close up I am. And the reason, brand. You're trying to sell the brand. The person is a brand. So if you're a people photographer, get closer. And also notice that my photos aren't 2 photos in one. I'm just showing you the brand. So what's happening here is you're not showing the brand. You're showing, it's more of like an ego stroke of look at what I can do with photography. But if this was like me and I'm the art director, I'm saying you're missing the brief. You're being too artsy and not selling her, who is the brand. Imagine you had to shoot with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, someone who is like the biggest star in the world. Are you going to shoot Taylor Swift and put her this small in the frame and put like a big frame around her? Or are you going to have Taylor Swift right up and close so you can like a portrait of the biggest female face in America? A billionaire. Like, are you going to show her this big? So brand, and like, this isn't about ego. And I'm not trying to hurt yours. I'm just saying it's not about ego. When it comes to photography, it's about brand. And if this girl hired you to shoot her, why are you leaving so much space around her and not zooming in on the money, which is that face right there? So that is my 2 cents and a bag of chips for you. It's an amazing photo. It's nice, but you're missing eye contact and you're missing that intimacy. I hope that helps you. All right, this is Kivian Durrett. I got to speed it up. I'm going way too slow. My people should be telling me I'm going too slow, which I am today. All right. Okay. Next, Kivian Durrett. Kivian says, last week I asked you, what kind of a photographer are you? I'm a beginner editorial portrait photographer. Good. Okay. Downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, natural light. A7 R5, 28-70, ISO 125, f2, 1600th of a second. And by the way, if you guys want to know what gear I shoot with, what I use, my lights, all that stuff, all of my gear with all the links are at stevecarty.com. Just go up to the top, you'll see gear, everything I shoot with, in case you're wondering, because I always get questions about lights and all that shit. Okay, Kivian Durrett, let's see. You are an editorial portrait photographer from Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's go, Kivian. This is much better. This is a much better push. The pose is a little bit conservative, but it's honest. It's honest and true, so it's likable. Let's look at this as a cover. This is good, Kivian. This is good. I mean, there's a couple of distractions in the background, you know, but what you did was you used depth of field to kind of separate yourself from the background. So I'm going to commend you on that. Let's look at this as an 8x. I'm going to look at this as a 4x5 proportion, which is what it's going to look like on Instagram. It's cropped well. You're not cropping the hardwood classic jersey. Also, the jersey, it says Dreamer, which is clever and great. It's some sort of a city throwback. I like it. This is a yes for me, Kivian. And again, there's a couple of distractions behind, but you did choose a background that's like pushed down in exposure, so he pops a little bit more, which I appreciate. I'd really wish that I couldn't see that, and I really wish that I couldn't see some of this, and that this yellow piece wasn't behind his neck. Like, for me, the spot that you want him to be behind is this brick. So what I would have done in this situation is had him take a step that way, and then this brick wall continues that way. You have leading line from here. You still have the archway. Just step him here, and then you shoot that way. So you don't have this piece of yellow behind him, and the windows and these lights, which all kind in the orange, like all of that kind of takes us out of what's going on here. So Greg, welcome. Thanks for hanging out. So yeah, again, it's so close, Kivian, and I'm giving you an 11 on this one because it's a huge improvement over last week. This is good. This is good. I just want you to also, Kivian, let's go, buddy. Thanks for the $5. And again, it's not necessary for you to give me money, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You leveled up this week, bro. Good for you. You can see he's shooting with a 50 millimeter, and I'm guessing. I didn't even look, but I know he's shooting with a 50, and it says 28 to 70, but you're zoomed past, like you're from 50 that way. And again, you would be so served well, Kivian, owning a 50 and not using that 28 to 7 at all. 28 to 70, just like sell it. Seriously, you're a portrait shooter. You need a 50, you need an 85, you need a 100, you need a 135. And then after those lenses, get a 35 millimeter, like a 35 millimeter prime. And again, shoot that horizontal only. So that's what I'd recommend. This is absolutely sick. I'm giving it an 11. Well done. It's Kivian Durrett. All right, starting to remember his name, Daniel Joseph. Daniel says, new model wanting some shots for their book, March 25th, North Head, New Zealand. I got people all the way from New Zealand, yo. Show off the 5D Mark IV, 7200, 28, 250 per second, 125, f4. Okay, here's a rule. Here's a rule. Here's a rule. Before I show you your photo, here's a rule. And you need to lock this in, Daniel. This is the rule, okay? Doesn't matter what lens you're shooting with. Lock this in. It does not matter what lens you're shooting with. This is rules, okay? 1 over the longest focal length of the lens, okay? So if you are shooting with a 70 to 200, then the slowest shutter speed you can shoot is 1/200th of a second, irregardless to what you're zoomed to. I want you guys to all hear this. It doesn't matter what you're zoomed to. This is why zoom lenses are so lazy. Okay, listen. You're shooting with a 70 to 200, okay? But you're zoomed to 75. Guess what? You still have to shoot at a 200th of a second because it's so top heavy unless you're on a tripod. Okay? 70 to 200 for portrait photography is amazing. Kick is asking me. A 70 to 200 for portrait photography is amazing, but guess what? I sold mine. I gave it to my brother and I bought a 200 2.8. So what I have now instead of a 70 to 200 is I have an 85, a 100 millimeter macro, a 135, and a 200 millimeter prime L series, 200 2.8. Because whenever I would shoot with my 70 to 200, I would always be zoomed to 200. And if I'm using any other focal length, I have a 135 f2. I have a 100 millimeter 2.8. I have an 85 millimeter 1.8. So prime lenses over zooms, always is my opinion. And I'll pull out if I get through some more of these photos, I'll pull out my 200 2.8. It's gorgeous. So this is a yes for Kivian Durrett. The next gentleman, who is Daniel, you shot at 125th of a second. That is too slow. You have to shoot at 1/200th of a second minimum with that lens, always. Okay? You're going to get camera shake. You're going to get blur. You're going to get all kinds of other stuff that unless you are shooting with a monopod every time, and even still, the person's going to move. Like imagine, when you're shooting with looking through binoculars, how hard it is to keep binoculars steady, like the image. You're looking at your bird and you see the bird, like it's because of the magnification. Everything is magnified, including camera shake. So the 1 over the longest focal length of the lens is to counter that. All right, so let's get back to Mr. Daniel Joseph. Daniel, thanks for submitting. So, yeah, this is the wrong lens for this kind of a situation. I want to show you this as a double. You can see it's hugging the gutter there a little bit because you're composing on the thirds. You can see this is a third. This is a third right there, right? You see that you're composing on the thirds, and then you can see how that now hugs too much to the gutter. But now let's look at focus, because now when I look at focus, I'm actually saying, what is in focus here, Daniel? And do you see here? That's shake. You see that? That's shake. That. You see in here? That's shake. It's because you shot at 125. You see up here? That's shake because you shot at 125. And also, like, nothing's in focus. This is the closest thing to in focus. Mouth isn't in focus. This lens isn't in focus. This side isn't in focus. Up here is not in focus. There's just certain parts of the jacket, like right here, because it's bright. Your camera might have bit on that because you're shooting mirrorless, and no, you're shooting digital SLR and not mirrorless. So you have no eye tracking. So your camera, just the way that it focuses is just not as good as like an R5 or like one of the mirror. Like I used to shoot 5D SR, which is the 50 megapixel 5D. Like it was crazy, but the focus was garbage. And when I moved to the R5, it's like, oh my God. So you can see here, this is your sharpest thing, Daniel. And like the one rule as a photographer, more than anything else, is we know how to focus. So this is one of those pictures that it's like, it's cool, it's through a window, there's a vibe and there's good light, but shoot it with a 50, shoot it with a different lens, and also the exposure here is hot. This is over by, I'm going to call that a third of a stop. Cause his skin shouldn't be white. Like he shouldn't be white. You know what I mean? Like I know he's Caucasian, but he shouldn't be like actually white. So the contrast and like exposure and a couple of things are like off, but overall I would have spent no time even working on this photo because it's out of focus. And again, when I'm shooting, click, that's the first thing I'm doing is click, check a frame and be like, oh my God, the depth, the aperture that I'm shooting, nothing's in focus. I have to fix that. I change my settings, more ISO, more aperture, shoot more frames. And then like I decide whether I actually like it. The fingers down here coming out of the frame. Like imagine you have products here. This is a watch. That could be a product that you're selling. You have sunglasses. That also could be a product that you're selling, but no brand identity on the watch, no brand identity on the sunnies. So it just becomes, are you trying to make money here or what, Daniel? So be really hyper aware of like lens selection and when you're trying to be all cool with the shallow depth of field and when that actually works against you. And it's working against you here because if I now hired you to shoot this watch or hired the watch and the glasses are from the same brand, this doesn't cut it. So I hope that helps you. That is Daniel Joseph. Thanks for submitting. This is Malik Brand. Okay, Malik shot with the A7 III 85mm 1.4, 125, 6.3. ISO 125, 6.3, 125th of a second. Shot with three strobes, Malik. Okay, let's look at Malik Brand. Malik, thanks for submitting. Exposure, Malik, is off. And I also am just trying to figure out what kind of a photographer that you're trying to be as well. Are we shooting OnlyFans? Is that what's happening now, Malik? Again, this is cute. But there's some things that are just kind of wrong with this picture. This is a pretty girl, but she's not a model. And it's because she's just a little bit too thick. And again, when you're modeling this kind of like super skimpy stuff, it's just not right. And again, I'm not trying to, and it's really hard for me to just like put my finger on it. First thing is exposure. Okay, you see how this black looks a little hazy? That has to do with the light, the way that you place the light, the way that this light is coming in here. When it comes to her, and again, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but You're the photographer, and this is the stuff that you have to see, okay? Under her arms and this and what that looks like. And believe me, if you see this close up and you just tuned in right now, you think that I'm showing pornography. You can see under her arm, like on both sides, it just doesn't quite look right. It's just because, like, again, she's girlfriend cute. Model is a whole other category. And this isn't to offend anybody. I'm trying to be very delicate here. She's wearing very sexually charged, revealing clothing. And she's kind of like, here, like, I'm just trying to figure out who this is for. Who this is for. Who is your audience? Who is your perfect customer other than Randy Men? You know what I mean? And exposure wise, it's like a little hazy, and that has to do with how you lit your white. Because haze is coming back and it's actually affecting your blacks. This girl, beautiful, but you need to shoot her in a different way. Like, she's just kind of oozing sexuality. And again, I do not know what kind of a photographer you're trying to be. And I'm just trying to figure out, it's like, and also why? Are you being a photographer to get next to girls who are kind of in this kind of clothes, or are you trying to bring value to businesses, markets? Because this type of picture only serves her. And it's not at the level with styling and stuff to be in a magazine. So again, I'll show you an example. I'm going to show you Yusai. And like also sexually charged images. But if you see the way that it's done, I mean, this is his beauty category, and the level of girls that he's shooting, like even this, who is like an agency girl, like a literal supermodel. Like, you also see it's like the poses and the vibes and everything. It's just different. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, who you're trying to be. And like, the more that you can help me define that, the better this will be. The better that I can help you, the better that I can serve you. The ask is, should this picture be in my book, Malik? Yeah, it's, again, you say that, like, you sent me an image from before, right? And again, William, yes, she's beautiful, dude, obviously. But again, like, this isn't what this is for. This isn't like, oh my God, she's so, it's like, does this girl serve a purpose in your portfolio with what it is that you're trying to do? And again, you shot this before you met me. I feel like you would shoot this differently if it was today. And again, if I show you the type of images that I show like that, is like, I kind of, I'm now trying to serve clients. So she's a beauty, like, this girl has a beautiful face. So shoot beauty of her. Do you know, she's got a better face. Like she's got a great face. So shoot beauty of her. And I want you to be thinking of applied photography. Like this, I got hired because they were releasing this sweater, this community limited edition sweater. So put it on a model, just a sweater only, shot a photo to sell the sweater. But also on an actual agency girl. So, yeah, it's really hard, Malik, for me to really understand what it is that you're shooting or what you're trying to do, because the sexually chargedness of it is throwing me. And yeah, I would love to have a bit of maybe an email conversation back and forth with you so I can understand what you're trying to do. So Nick says, it's very simple. Nick says, we're not collecting girls. We're reaching goals with our portfolio. It's a resume. Okay. And like, if you want to just looking at the work of the photographer who's speaking, Nick Johnson, like, this is Nick's work. And you can see, like, Nick is bringing value to these girls. And like, it's hot, but it's not necessarily sexually charged. It's like, it has commercial application, you know? So it has commercial application. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make work that has commercial application. It's not just for shits and giggles. It's for commercial application so we can get hired. So for me, that's what this one is missing. I hope that helps you, Malik. All right, this is Natalie Bennett. Natalie says, I completed the photo shoot at a University of South Carolina. Canon R6 Mark II, 24 to 105, shot at 105, ISO 400, 2.8. All right, this is Natalie Bennett. Natalie, thanks for submitting. Okay, so this one, it feels a little bit too warm. Like, you see the temperature, how absolutely yellow this picture is. Like, it's on the extreme of like, and also you took your saturation slider and you're like, oh, saturation, let's just move that saturation slider. So like, don't adjust the saturation slider. And again, I know that you're shooting seniors portraits and this girl and her family loved it and blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't change the fact that like you're going crazy in Lightroom. Do not slide the saturation. Just like, I don't touch my saturation slider. But in this one, it's at like 70. Do you know what I mean? It's getting to the point where your colors, like, this doesn't even look real anymore, Natalie. So for me, it's like you're thinking Instagram filters. Like, these days are over. This is not what work looks like. So I understand the idea. The hat up here is kind of hokey. Just have her holding the hat or having it in her hand. But the hat up here is hokey, and you can like, it forces us to look like into the upper of the picture. And you know, when this is an 8x10, all of that gets cropped out anyways, right? You see here, when this is an 8x10, now it looks like this, right? So the hat gets cut off. So again, her pose is too like placed. Like, we have to make this a little bit more like, I know you're shooting senior portraits, and like impressing her and her mom means that you did a good job, but trying to impress me, you have to try harder, Natalie. I want it to be like, again, she's a beautiful girl, but the hat up on the thing is cheesy. So have her hold the hat, have her wear the hat, or like just have her hold the hat in front, make it like. And again, senior portraits as a thing to do, you're just taking pictures. Again, you're making them, but I'm trying to curb you into higher level work. Stop using the saturation slider. This is one of your better pictures, Natalie. The saturation slider really killed it for me, though. I would love to see you reprocess this without saturation at 50. All right, that is Natalie Bennett. Nadine O'Connor, Sony A9 85mm 1.8 at 2.8 ISO 1600. We need to get you off ISO 1600, Nadine. Like, I swear, everything you shoot is ISO 1600. Please stop. Please stop. Like, I want to hear ISO 100. I want to hear ISO 400. I don't want to hear ISO 1600, okay? Please reduce your ISO. This is now the third time that I've said it, okay? If you're having a problem, get on Zoom with somebody in the community so they can help you, who shoots Sony with your body. Thanks for saying hi, Zach, but understand I'm doing a show. All right, this is Nadine O'Connor. Let's see, Nadine, 85mm 1.8 at 2.8 ISO 1600. Okay, so this is really wrong. Really wrong, Nadine. Thanks for submitting. But oh my God, what happened here? What happened? This is underexposed by at least 2 full stops. This is underexposed by at least 2 stops. You recovered it, and now it looks like a historical photo. like it looks like a historical photo because it's so underexposed. Center focused composition. This is just this is just a mess, Nadine. Nadine, this is a mess. Yeah, there's two, and again, Nadine, you know this is a mess. You know this is a mess. You know this. If you're saying that don't say that a mistake that's so far off was intentional, because it's okay if you're trying to go backwards. Okay, do what other people do. You don't see anybody else shooting 2 stops underexposed intentionally. So yeah, this is a miss for me, Nadine. The composition, the exposure, the super washed out gray black, like this looks like 1990, and that's not what we're trying to do here. I hope that helps you. Nadine, new camera means your work goes up, not down. It means your work goes up, not down. You got a new camera and your work is going down. So like, talk to one of my people and use my peer reviews. My team would not. Can someone please help Zachary? He's derailing my whole show here. Someone help Zachary. I'm really, I'm frustrated, Nadine, because like you work so far to get towards, like, we're trying to get you exposing properly. When you don't know how to expose properly, you can't shoot something 2 stops underexposed and then say, I meant to do that. I meant to do that. So, and if my peer review let this come out, this picture should, like, it's not good enough, Nadine. It's just simple. It's not even good enough for you. So, and it's such a departure from the rest of the stuff that you're doing. Like, again, I'm just, it's such a departure from the rest of your stuff that you're doing. So again, I don't get it. And if you told me this was someone else's picture, I would believe that more than believing that that's you, with what you know, how long you've been submitting, and the kind of work that you've been making so far. What I'm hoping to see is what you've been doing, but now with a better camera. Zachary, go here to submit. thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab. You don't get to just submit pictures now. Like, this is not how it works. These people are in my system. Oh God. It's like, you can't just come in and out and in and out, Zachary, and like not watch my show, not know my system, and just start like throwing questions at me in chat. Read the video description. Open the video description. It's right there. Gerard Danso. Gerard wants to know if he can keep this image in his portfolio. 5D Mark III, 70-200, 2.8. ISO 100, f5 at a 200th of a second. This is Gerard Danso. Gerard, high expectations for you this week, Gerard. Okay, better location. The pose though, the pose from him from the side, you lost me there. A better location, but you lost me on the pose. The horizon line is also quite dead center through the center of the picture. These things are competing with his head here. Look at how beautiful this sky is here. Look at how beautiful this sky is here. So of all the places that you could put him, why put him up against a structure that's lighter than he is, that's going to draw our eye? I'm seeing these stars before I'm seeing his face, because you put them right at eye line, and then you turned his body towards it instead of turning his body to you. Your subjects need to project to the viewer, the person who's looking at your photo. Okay. If I'm looking at you like this, okay, it's welcoming. Come here. Right? Or you see me like this, which kind of looks cut-eye, right? Like I'm already halfway turning away from you. I'm just giving you this. That's all I'm giving you. What's more welcoming? This or this? So when you pose your people that way, when you pose your people, you're covering the heart, which is the core of us as humans, okay? You're covering this, and you're not projecting that to your viewer, which is why your viewers are not staying on your photo. They're not staying there because they're not you're not projecting, your subject's not projecting to camera. He's projecting to whatever is happening over there, which is clearly more important than you. Now, if you posed him that way, oh my fucking God. If you posed him that way, then that's you. And if he posed that way and you let him stay that way, that's still you. It is our responsibility to be the curator of the energy. And Gerard, show me in a picture. I said, buy magazines. Buy magazines. Show me pictures in a magazine where a guy is standing like that. Show me. So, Gerard, better than last week, but still and I showed you Adiole Osibodu. I showed you Adiole Osibodu. Look at how he shoots up against the sky. He makes the sky a feature. He makes the sky a feature. There's no, let me put a building in the picture. The sky, you live in Ghana. You have the most incredible sky and water, but you're not using the sky. And you're putting your subjects in places that are distracting. These lines are distracting. This white piece through here, and this is all distracting. I want to see him up against this sky. That is all. For me, again, Gerard, so close, but this is a miss. This is a miss. Good exposure, good black and white, good contrast, good sharpness, but just no oomph in the pose, no oomph in the direction, no commitment to the person who's seeing this photo. All things like this, I'm a crazy person. And again, I'm kind of amped up today because again, I want the best for you, and I just see excellence, and I'm trying to inch you up and let you see all the things that I see. Okay, now this is my accelerator members. Starting with Doyle Daniels. Z8 70-200 2.8 ISO 32 250 per second f10 at 85 millimeter. This is 2 lights. This is Doyle Daniels. Doyle. Okay. Missed this one, bro. Missed this one. We missed the exposure on the rear. Okay. You see how not seeing this eye and where she's looking just looks haunting, right? It just looks like her face is kind of starting to morph. Not seeing, if you're using a second light back here, you have to lift this exposure here. It's bordering on real shadow detail. And also the light's coming in from the side so much that it's actually shadowing this eye, because you're bringing in the light, you're lighting her cheek. You're not lighting her face. The light placement on this Doyle is so wrong. It's just wrong. And essentially she's black. She's wearing black. She's wearing black hair. She's and she's coming out of blackness. And it's this is just wrong. This is just not at all at your level. Not at all. And again, I'm going to remind you what your photography looks like. I'm going to remind you what your photography looks like. And let's look at Doyle Daniels. Okay? Doyle, look at your work. Okay? Look at how hyper detailed and bro, look at this nuance. Okay? Look at that nuance. How does this work? How does that work? Like, honestly, how does that work? Like, to me, this is such a departure. This is such a departure from what it is that you do. Like, you bring brightness and optimism and light. Like, this is the darkest shot that you did. And I talked to you about the nose placement here. And I talked to you about the light placement here and how radical that nose shadow was and how wrong that was. And how the light needed to come from down. So this nose shadow went down here and like shaped his face a little bit. Like, we talked, like, this is the most dramatic shot you have. Like, we talked about this. So seeing you now endeavor into, like, look at this, another absolute, like, look at the nuance in this photo, Doyle. So for me, this is just not it. And the light is just, if this is a 2-light setup, it looks like 1 light and a reflector, and the light is placed wrong. And she's in the blackest room that has no accents, no character, no anything. And she's not projecting to anybody. She's projecting this way. Again, it has nothing to, like, look like your work, the most successful stuff. Your people are projecting forward, Daniel. Yes or yes? They're projecting forward, right? So this is an absolute miss for me. It's a miss. The light's wrong. Everything's wrong. The outfit's wrong. The location's wrong. Please don't put it in your portfolio. It's Doyle Daniels, guys. This is Andy Phillips. T5i, 122 millimeter, f4, 100 of a second, f4, 100 of a second, ISO 200. 1 Godox strobe with a snoot. All right, Andy. Let's see what you're doing. This is better. This is better. You're still, the depth of field is still all wrong, Andy. You're still shooting products like you would shoot people. Look at how shallow the depth of field is. The depth of field is so shallow is that anything that gets like an inch too close to you is soft. And look how select focus the stuff is. So if you're going to do this, you need to shoot with a far narrower aperture. Let's look at Garan Rath, and let's look at Garan Rath's product photography. And then you ask me if he's shooting with like a shallow depth of field when it comes to this type of photography. Garan also in Portfolio Lab, in my accelerator. Is he shooting with shallow depth of field? He's adding all of this blur and adding this motion. Like, look at this, like this level of depth of field, Andy. Like, this is what is required. And if you're shooting food, guess what? How you make food appetizing is by showing every single grain and every single morsel. And you can't do that and with like a sliver of depth of field. All it does is look blurry. So light, yes. Set, better. Composition, better. Too low in the frame. You're actually cutting off product. You're too low in the frame. You're too close here. You're too close here. Like, too low. Again, step back. Step back. The set is okay. But Andy, you need to be shooting this at f22. You need to be shooting this at f22, or you need to be focus stacking. Like, that's the level of care that you have to be doing when you're doing this. Okay. And again, for you who are watching me from India, I have a photographer who, 19-year-old Devanshu, who found me when he was 19. Indian photographer, he got accepted to a photography school in Australia. Again, one of the most talented shooters that I'd seen come out of India. He's so sick. And Now he is like a fashion. I've recently talked to him. He's now shooting fashion and all kinds of other things. I'm trying to help this guy get to the next level. But photographer, also Indian, Devanshu Damalye. And look at how far I took this guy from India. Like his first work, which was very profound. Look at the work that this guy's doing now. I reviewed this. He did this for my show. All right. So I hope that helps you, Andy. Depth of field is your friend. And again, this isn't the first time that I've said depth of field. The hard thing about Devanshu being in Portfolio Lab is he lives in Australia and his time zone, it's so far. Although I do have Daniel Joseph, who is in New Zealand. So if Daniel can do it, why can't Devanshu? Andy, I've talked about depth of field with you a couple of times. The next shot that you send, that's the only thing I'm going to be looking at is your depth of field. And if you don't know how to do focus stacking, get on with Garan and he'll teach you. Okay? That's Andy Phillips. This is Lamont DeSalle. Lamont's thinking about this picture for his portfolio. Agency model. Straight on for a clothing session. I appreciate your time and your energy reviewing my images, Carty. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. Z6, 85mm 1.8, ISO 400, 6.3, 1/60th of a second. This is Lamont DeSalle. Lamont, thanks for submitting. Lamont, this is better. This is remarkably better than previous styling, than previous poses. This is very close. Your white, I would really like your white to like snap a little bit more, but this is like a one light white, which kind of goes gray. The next thing I'd like you to do is the next time you shoot, I'd like you to lower yourself just a little bit. So your horizon line, like right now I'm seeing too much of the top of her feet here. Seeing just a little bit too much of the top of your feet. I can see where your cove is, like back here. I want that cove to kind of drop a little bit lower. I want you to drop just a little bit lower. Make sure you're always shooting with a 50mm or over. Never shoot in the studio with wide angle. It really starts to look weird. But Lamont, this is a yes for me. This is a yes for me. There's a couple of styling things that I'm seeing, but nothing that really doesn't pass. You can see there's some of the tool here that's coming out. You just tuck that tool under here so it's smooth on both sides. Again, this still isn't the level of styling that I need your clothes to have when you're doing these shoots, but it's better. It's better. I would love just a simple black dress instead of these frills and the tool and this kind of bullshit, which is really dated. But again, this is better. The pose, she's nice and light and easy, although she is like touching her legs. Like she doesn't need to like be holding her legs together, like holding her, like she just needs to be like holding her fingers or like, again, there's a little lack of swag here, but still like she has it. Also, this back leg is kind of hyperextending. Sometimes like her leg is locked, so it's kind of locked too far. Like that pushed back leg. Again, I try to make it so they don't like lock their legs. And this girl's a little like knock-kneed, so like that also accentuates that. When I come in close though, the retouching on this leg and this knee looks like it doesn't exist. Like if I zoom in here and I tell you that's her knee, if I told you that this, you would say, I don't believe you. That's actually part, but he left this wrinkle. But as I zoom back, you're like, oh my God, your retoucher took all the shape and the contouring out of this girl's knee. So you can see there's just a little bit of it here, but your retoucher went crazy, Lamont. He left the poor dots, the dark dots that she has on her legs. He left those, but he took her kneecap away. So this, like, what he's doing here, yeah. But then he's not going to take that scar away. He's not going to take that away. You know what I mean? He's not going to take that away. Yeah. So, and then guess what, Lamont? You let a girl show hands that her nails are busted, bro. Busted nails, dude. Girls, come on. Come on. Ladies. Like, and Lamont, yeah, I actually saw her nails too. So that's just a no bueno, bro. And again, you don't see it here, but I do, because I'm looking. You don't see it here, but I do, because I see that unmanicured nail here, and then I zoom in and I go, uh-oh, and then I go here and I go, uh-oh, and I go here and it's like, oh no. Yeah, okay, just what I thought. So, again, Lamont, better, but you still have to be a crazy person, bro. You still have to be noticing all of this stuff that I notice. You still have to be. You still have to be. Yeah, and you got to watch the overpainted lip. Look at the lip line here, down here. This like darker lip line and then lighter lipstick. Like all of this under here looks like she's got chocolate on her face. It looks like she just had Nestle's Quick and just got that like all under here. That's what you check before you shoot. That's what you check. Lip line. And this on her lip ends here. Her lip is here. Why is there lipstick down here? So, again, Lamont, I'm trying to turn you into the top 1%, bro. This is what I'm seeing on a full length shot. So again, at this look, it passes, but I want you to be, as your standards are raising, but they still have a ways to go. Yeah. I used to paint my nails from time to time. Not me. I'd have some nice Vietnamese lady do it. Because, you know, it's just like, it's like an eye, but so many people in my comments, like they could not get past the fucking nail polish that I'm just like, all right, I'm over it. If that's like, if you're not going to listen to me because I have black nail polish on, all right. But it got to the point where it was actually really starting to bug me in the comments. So I just stopped wearing it. All right. This is Jay Tracy. But before we get to Jay Tracy, you might need to know about this. Are you a photographer ready to go pro? Or maybe you're a working photographer struggling to sustain your business? My coaching programs are designed to meet you where you are and give you the guidance needed to move your needle forward. Whether you're looking for a focused 1-hour session to fix a specific challenge, or you need the type of ongoing support that 6 1-hour time slots would give you, I'm here to help you master the systems and build a career that you've been aiming for. By the way, if you book me for one of my ongoing coaching sessions, you pay for 5 sessions and you get 6. With over 34 years of professional experience, I guide you through the key aspects of creating a thriving photography business. Whether that's building a standout portfolio, or sharpening your brand, or even setting up systems that bring in clients consistently. First of all, I give you flexible coaching options. Choose a single 1-hour session to get some quick insights, or you can commit to 6 sessions for a full transformation. I can even walk you through my proven systems one-on-one. Whether you're looking to break into the industry or you're struggling to keep your business afloat, these sessions are personalized to focus on what will actually move the needle for you. You're going to get real-time expert guidance, and believe me, there is no one-size-fits-all advice. You're going to get actionable insights and hands-on support to address your unique challenges and unlock your full potential. You don't have to do this alone, eh? Let's work together to take your photography career to the next level. Whether that means finally going pro or creating a thriving, sustainable photography business. Visit thecartymethod.com/coaching to book your session today. Let's get to work. Jay Tracy says, hey Carty, thanks for your time and expertise. Please let me know if this photo has a place in my portfolio. We shot this on Easter Sunday using a portable pole in a private pool. A7R3, 16 to 35 millimeter, ISO 800, 3.2, a 400th of a second. This is shot ambient lighting. This is Jay Tracy. Jay, this is so close, man. This is so fucking close. And excuse my French. I really wish that this girl's elbow wasn't coming forward, and I wish she didn't have that expression on her face, because that is what's losing me for this photo. It's like she looks like she's in too much of a struggle. She looks like she's in too much of a fight. The elbow is, and again, I really wanted this picture to work, but it's the elbow for me that's not working, and the expression on her face. She looks like she's struggling. If that elbow was out, I think I would have been able to let go of the face expressions. And I know it's really hard for you to control that because you are my resident underwater photographer. But Jay, if I look just at this girl's body and her body language below here, like, that's amazing, like really amazing. I don't want you to have to cut your photo in half. I think that you might have another edit that might work, because again, this is technically really brilliant. Like, I really like what you're trying here. I like how high you are to the surface. Like, there's so many things here, Jay, that are just so close. Composition wise, it works as a cover, it works as an 8x10, blah blah blah. You get it, Jay. You're in my accelerator. The thing that it's just the elbow forward makes her look like an amputee, and the face expression makes her look like she's fighting just a little bit. So for me, I'd love to see another edit, but I don't think, again, it's like an 11, but it's the elbow and the face that means that 11, you can't show it. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to take you to the top, girl. I'm trying to take you to the top. So, Jay Tracy, this is a brilliant picture, but you can't use it. I think that you might be able to use another edit from this shoot, but sadly, this one isn't it. I hope that helps you. You guys with me still? You too? It's been a bit of a long show. I've been a little long-winded today, but that's all right. You know, sometimes I'm long-winded. Sometimes I have to, especially we got some new people. When you got the new people, when they've never had their photos reviewed, they've watched me review other people's photos, but then now I'm telling them things that they need to hear. Sometimes it's hard. Again, I try to do it without hurting anybody's feelings, but at the same time, I have to speak truth. So that's what you're paying me for. All right, this is Anton Duris. Anton says, hey, Carty and crew, can I put this in my book? Thanks for your feedback. Sony a6600 with an 18 to 50 millimeter. Anton is going to Vietnam in July, and he's buying his new Sony a crazy something. I don't know what you're buying, but I'm excited. ISO 100 f6.3 at 640th of a second. This is Anton Duris, outdoor adventure travel photographer. Let's get it on. Anton, this for me feels just a little staged. It feels just a little staged. Like I don't believe that this is that like natural moment. Her body language is a little twisted. And again, this looks very much like a Charles Fortin photo. If you look at Charles' photo here, and again, super upright. The boy, like, it almost looks like you looked at that photo as a reference and tried to recreate this photo, which again, I appreciate. Imitation, again, it's Charles' photo. Imitation is the sweetest form of flattery, but I want you to notice what you missed. Look at her legs, how tight and straight her legs are, so they don't look like two separate things, they look like one. So the legs are wrong, and because the leg, and then the board is twisted, which is causing her arms to do weirdness. Again, look at the board, super straight, arms perfectly straight, and then because of that, because the legs are thrown and because the arms are thrown, well, then her bum and her legs and all of that kind of just look weird. So it ends up looking more like a snapshot than it looks like an editorial portrait. So you push the horizon line low. This is so close, Anton, but it's just a miss because, again, you can't imitate the picture exactly. And I mean, it's the same pose in a different location. You have to do something that's a little different, like do something that makes it your own. Yeah, like do something that makes it your own. And if you shot this, yours was made a year ago. So Anton says mine was made a year ago. So if yours was made before Charles, imagine how, and Charles didn't, and maybe Charles saw yours. So basically, all the same things apply whether you shot it a year ago or whether you shot it last week. It's the same things with the arms, with her legs, and it having to be a little bit more symmetrical. It looks like she's holding it, and a little bit too much. It feels a little bit more like that and not quite editorial. The big sky, like Anton, that's it. It's like, it's close, but this is another one of those ones that you have to kind of like redo this one just because the body language isn't quite right. All right. I hope that helps you. Again, it's close, Anton. But again, because I know your work, Anton, and we can just go up here and go to antonduris.com, and like, I know your work, Anton. I know the level of work that you can do. Like, I want you to look at how absolutely perfect this picture is. For me, this is not at the level of this. Like, look at the difference. It just isn't. So because of that, and because, I mean, Anton, look at this photo, bro. This is your work. Is this at that level? You know, this is up against your own work. So up against your own work, I mean, guy, come on. Your pictures are ridiculous. Up against your own work, it doesn't hold up. So because of that, it's like, and again, helping you curate this book is been really fun for me. But because you have pictures like this that are like so perfect, I have to also be that scrutinous with you when I'm judging pictures that you ask me, is this allowed to be in this collection? Because that's what you asked me. Is this allowed to be in this collection? And I'm saying, sorry, bro. No, it's not allowed. It's not allowed to be in this collection. Are you crazy? And you know, Anton, this is you against you. And that's exactly what Courtney just said. It's you against you, bro. So this is why photographers use me. They use me this way because you're too close. You're too close. You're too close, right? You're too close to the work. So it truly is you against you. And just showing you Anton's portfolio, like, Anton makes he's an incredible photographer, but I'm trying to help him realize that he is a portrait photographer as well as a travel photographer. He's a portrait photographer, and you can see he can shoot portraits, and he gets it. He gets composition. He gets it. So because he gets it, I also have to say, when I see a photo like this, no, dude, no. And you at home, when you see me shitting on a photo from somebody who's in my group, it's because I know them and I know their work and I know what they've done in the past. And if something isn't at their level, no, bro, no, not good enough. Simple. That's how we constantly progress and not put a portfolio together that's like, whoa, doubt makes people leave. As soon as you create doubt for a potential client, you don't get hired. When you remove all doubt, it makes them think that you're like a crazy person, because to them, everything that you touch with your camera is gold. And that's just because you know how to edit. That's it. Just because you know that's not good enough. That is good enough. That's not good enough. But you have to still try. You have to keep shooting and swinging for the fences. But you also have to be 100% okay with going out, shooting, and getting nothing that is good enough. You have to be okay with that. And I'm totally okay with that. In fact, most of the stuff that I shoot, I don't show. I mean, no, I don't want to say most. But like, if you think I do a shoot of like, I shoot 1,000 frames, I showed 2. Most of the stuff I shoot, I don't show. Most of it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I go out and I do shoots and don't get anything. I'm saying I go out and I try tons of stuff, but my standards are so high. What I actually show you is like 2 or 3 maybe, after I've worked through all my own idiosyncrasies. That's Anton Duras. This is Daniel Van Cleef. We're down to our last 3 photos. Daniel Van Cleef says, "Hey Chief, been shooting with Esther, outdoor Lisbon streets. Portfolio? Sunlight, as you can see, Fuji X Pro 3, 35mm, ISO 80, 4/50th of a second, f8. This is Mr. Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, this is a vibe, dude. This is a vibe. There's something here. The background's a little busy, but this girl's so dynamic, and the pose is so dynamic, and the color really pops. There's a lot going on here, though, D. There's a lot going on here. I think it can go in your portfolio, but I think that it won't last. I think that it won't last because I think that you'll shoot stuff with her that's better. But tonally, this is so tonally correct. Like the blue jeans and this blue and how that's kicking from the sky, and then the blue sky, and then the white, and then the white. Like, it's so tonally correct. And this little afro pick that she's got hanging out of her ear here. She's cute. She's got, like, again, you got to watch the motion blur. There's a little bit of motion blur in her face here, Daniel. You can see that little bit of like shaky. I'm on the fence, bro. It crops well as an 8x10. I can see like you really like this. Technically should work. Technically it has all the right elements. My only thing is the depth of field is a little bit extreme. Like, we have a really deep depth of field, so I'm actually seeing back here quite, I mean, it's not perfectly sharp, but it's quite in focus, you know? So Som Lit, welcome, thanks for hanging out with us. Listen, I'm on the fence, bro, to be honest. I think that it can make it in your book for now, but I think you're going to shoot other stuff of her that's going to trump it. She's such a beautiful face. My suggestion is I would love to see her on some non-distracting backgrounds where you're not trying to incorporate her into the environment. You're shooting her as a standalone. That's all I'll say. The styling is good. The body language is good. The vibes is good. I just think the background's just a little bit too busy. But for me, I would let it pass. I would let it pass. Well done, Daniel. All right. Well done. Alrighty. Getting down to the nitty gritty. Jennifer Grace. Yay. As always, Carty, I appreciate your time and review. You're welcome, Jennifer. Show off the EOS R 50mm, ISO 200, f10, 1/200th of a second. This is Jennifer Grace with a Godox 8600. Jennifer Grace. Jennifer, this is a vibe. This is definitely something that I'm sure this person really loved. I would love, like, I mean, this is just a yes for me. This is just a yes. I really do want more eye contact. When you shoot eye contact, it's so powerful, but this really hits. It hits hard. I love the background. I love the low perspective. I love the sky against her. I just love the location. I mean, again, holding the flowers the way that she is, with the flowers still being in the paper, makes it feel a little snapshot-ish. Suggestion is she's just holding the flowers, but they're not inside, like, pedal to the metal. They're not inside that unless, and again, even if you're shooting for this brand, like, you have to shoot that in a little bit of a different way. I think this is a yes. I think this can work in your portfolio, Jen. Yes. I'm just going to say yes. There's a couple of things, but again, it's like really those couple of things are not enough for me to make this like not worthy. This is a progression. I really hope that you shot some of these that have eye contact where she's looking towards camera. I would really like to see what else you shot within this set. I know you've been on a tear shooting tons and tons of stuff on the weekends. I'm proud of you. This is a yes for me. I'm giving you an 11 and giving you the applause, Jen. Thank you. Taylor, yes, 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 yes. Taylor, yes, 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 yes. Taylor Swift. Joseph Baldwin broke a few rules this week. Broke a few rules this week is the statement. Here's some new work still in the process of fine-tuning. EOS R 50mm ISO 100 f8 250 to the second, shot with a AD200 with a grid. This is the last photo of the day. This is Joseph Baldwin. Joseph, this is yes, bro. This is a vibe. This is a vibe, dude. I really like this. And again, Joseph, it's so different than when I would like, yes, bro. Yes, 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 Joseph, yes. You see my heart rate? Let's go.
Yes or yes?
Joseph, yes, yes. No light placement on the Rembrandt. Light placement on the Rembrandt. You could go this way, just a touch more. But the thing is, when we're shooting ladies, like we don't really need to go too hard on the Rembrandt. You could have actually brought the light in back this. Brought the light back this way a little bit, and then just tuck this nose shadow like in here just a little bit more. But Joseph, this is a yes, man. I like the sensibility. I like the little bit of haze that you have happening like behind. I like this gradient that you got going on with the dark over here, and it's kind of moving into this lightness, the exposure on the face, the outfit, this little shorty with the neck tattoos and the ink and the body language, like what she's doing with her hands. Like, bro, this is a yes. This is something that I would do. Very, very, very well done. Very well done. Our last photo of the day is definitely a good one. That was all of my photos. So I'm going to give you photos of the week. In the meantime, while I'm doing that, I want you to consider this. I am now rejigging my accelerator. I want you to think about this. 6 weeks. Intensive. Phase 1, 1 week. Phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, phase 6. Every week we all work together on Zoom through these workbooks. And at the end of 6 weeks, you get what I formerly delivered in 12. And then I give you 6 months of support on the back end. 6 months of support to help you get to the next level with your work and your business. Meaning pro level support, 2 Zoom calls a week, access to me, access to my team. Yeah, I'm kind of working this new, I think I want my accelerator to be a little bit different. And I think that I can deliver this information in 6 weeks. And then it's going to take you 6 months to get there. But 6 weeks, imagine finding out everything that you need to do to build your business in 6 weeks, and then 6 months of support of me helping you do it. That's kind of what I'm thinking for the next round. If that's the case, I might start that sooner. I got quite a few. I was going to start my accelerator again in September, but I might start my accelerator again in June and then just do this intense 6-week accelerator. If that's something that you're interested in and you're watching this, Here, imagine this was in 6 weeks. I know you've been waiting, and the wait is almost over. The application process for my Professional Photographers Accelerator opens again for the next round very soon. This is your opportunity to join a transformative 12-week program designed to help you build a thriving photography career. This isn't a course, by the way. This is a career accelerator program for photographers who are ready to elevate their craft and their business. Over 3 months, you'll dive into my proven 6-phase system, learning everything that you need to succeed, from building a market for your work to creating high-value offers and developing client acquisition systems that deliver consistent results. Over 12 weeks, I give you focused training and live group mentorship, which builds your roadmap and will fast-track your success for your photography business. This means bi-weekly group masterclasses that take you through each phase of my system, equipping you with actionable tools to overcome roadblocks and thrive. Weekly cohort sessions to keep you accountable, working alongside other ambitious photographers while getting personalized support from me. When you join my Professional Accelerator, you're stepping into a community of photographers just like you. Many have already completed my 6-phase system, and they're now refining their craft by going through it again. They've walked the path that you're about to take, and they're here to support your journey every step of the way. Together, they're helping me ensure that you succeed. This unique level of peer and mentor support is what makes my accelerator truly special. You're not just learning, you're surrounded by a network of experienced photographers who understand your challenges and are dedicated to seeing you thrive. Joining my waitlist is your only chance to access this exclusive program. Spots are really limited, and my accelerator fills up really quickly. Visit thecartymethod.com/accelerator to join the waitlist now and make 2025 the year of your photography career transformation. Everything I said in that spot, except for 6 weeks instead of 12, with 6 months of support on the back end. I think, I've been working with my team on my systems, and like I have this thing right now, this Carte method. I have this thing to a level where it's bordering on insanity. It's so good. It's so good right now, the Carte method. And again, I'm not tooting my own horn. Like, the Carte method is nothing without you. It's nothing without the people who are watching me here on YouTube. It's nothing without the people who are inside the Carte method, the people who are in Portfolio Lab, the people who are in my accelerator. Like, those photographers who are in Portfolio Lab and in my accelerator, those are the ones that I kill myself for. Those, and if anyone's like, you'll see. Just all you need to do is be in one of my Zoom calls. I'm telling you, man, I love this shit. This, beyond becoming a photographer, starting the Carte method, which I did 34 years later, 33 years later, starting the Carte method is the smartest thing I've ever done. Beyond becoming a photographer. Oh, and also back in 2009, I started shooting video. I started learning how to shoot and edit video. Saved my career. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't have a career. I'd be working at Home Depot. I'm telling you, I did it right at the right time, and it saved my career and really brought the momentum where it actually re-inspired my love for photography. And it really inspired my love for like this business, like honestly, because shit's been up and down. But now that I did the 3 or 4 years work on myself and then built this so I could help other people, my life's never been better. And also because what I'm helping works. Is learning video that important now? Yeah, it's more important than ever. It's more important than ever. And if you see my creators, like the people who are in the Carte method, all you need to do is go to LinkedIn and you'll see like, hey, I'm Mats Carlson and I'm a portrait. And it's like, you'll see them all talking on video. And then you scroll again and it's like, hey, I'm Joseph Baldwin. Are you in the Houston area? Are your like, they're all on camera talking because they're all in the Carte method. They know that I'm going to break your brain. I'm going to break your brain. Okay. Of the world, only 6% of the world post content. 6% of the world put anything out into the world. Only 6% of the world are producing. Only 6%. The rest are consuming. 6%. LinkedIn, I'm going to break your brain. LinkedIn, of all the LinkedIn accounts, only 6%. No, it's not. It's actually on LinkedIn. It's 3%. 2.9% of people who have LinkedIn accounts post. 3%. 3%. So if you're a photographer and you're not posting on, like, that means you are an audience of 1 if you post on LinkedIn, but you're not posting on LinkedIn. Like, you're posting on Instagram, where nobody hires anybody from Instagram. Everybody hires people from LinkedIn, but you're not spending any, and no one posts on. So you're a photographer and you use local hunting, like finding local people, and then you reach out to them, and then you're local. It's because the people that you follow, like I'm telling you, there's so, like, nobody posts, and even photographers, they don't post. So it sucks, but like, holy shit, man. All you need, and I break this down. I give you a content schedule. I tell you exactly what you should be doing. And right now, Joseph's doing it, seeing results. Nick is doing it, seeing results. Everybody who's in my system is doing it, sees results. And if you read the testimonials on the Carty method, they're like, oh my God, thank God for the Carty method. You know, it's crazy. Like, the testimonials that I get, and I'm holding you on because I'm going to give you photos of the week in a second. And I do have a meeting, I think, with Anton in 15 minutes. So Anton, I haven't forgot. Yeah, it's like date modified. What are we looking? Okay, so look at this review. Look at what that says. The Carty method changed everything. I don't know where I'd be without the Carty method. What stood out most to me was Carty's sincerity and transparency. It's rare, especially for someone who's been in the business. You can tell genuinely that he wants to help other photographers who are still finding their way. Now listen to Denise's story. She applied for my accelerator but didn't get in. Honestly, it was a blessing in disguise. It taught me that I don't need to know everything all at once. I can take my time to grow, participate in Portfolio Lab, and refine my niche while becoming a stronger photographer. The biggest lesson I've learned from Steve Carty is this: I compete with no one but myself. That idea completely shifted my perspective. It changed how I approach photography. Now every shoot is about improvement, about learning from my own mistakes and making the next shot better than the last. It's also helped me understand the difference between a balanced, high-value photo and one that doesn't serve me or my client. The transformation I've experienced thanks to the Carty method is rooted in confidence. I've gone from being a shy photographer who only wanted to shoot sunsets and sunrises to a serious product photographer. Now I look at every product with an eye for detail that I never knew that I had. My understanding of lighting, composition, and storytelling has evolved. Most importantly, I take myself seriously now. I'm no longer just doing this for fun. I'm trying to build something real. Yeah. It will without a doubt change your life for the better. So that's Denise Tuggle talking about the Carty method. So it's pretty sick. You want photos of the week? All right, let's get into our photos of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, your first photo of the week goes to Kyle Kiono with this submission. Yes, Kyle, I was a little hard on you on your post, but I don't want you to know. I don't want you to forget that you have something here, mister. You have something. This is an idea. This is an editorial portrait. You learned so much. I cannot wait to see you submit again and more. This is Kyle on the God Squad. Kiono. Welcome, Kyle. Glad you're here. That's a photo of the week for me. All right. And our next photo of the week goes to this guy. I don't even know his name yet. Oh, there you go. But I'm learning because he's another new shooter. This next photo of the week goes to Kyle Curtis. Let's get it on. It is you, right? Kyle? Is that it? Kevin. Fuck. Kevin Curtis. Kevin Curtis. That is a Carty approved photo of the week. Please don't compose on the thirds. Remember everything that I said, but this is an absolute banger. Kevin Curtis. It's locked in. Kevin. Got a lot of K's going on here. Kevin, and you're new. I promise I won't make a mistake again. I might. I'm not going to promise. I might. But guess what? You won photo of the week. Congratulations. Kevin Curtis. Well done. Well done. Sick image. Now, again, I was super hard on this picture too. Super hard. But when I was looking through, I am giving love to the best photos of the day. Okay? This is the best photos of the day. This is the photos of the week. So this man, although I was hard on this photo, it's still a dope photo. Okay? But now that he's heard my feedback, he will make different types of photos and he will listen to what I said in this one. This next photographer, lock that in. Ladies and gentlemen, your next photo of the week goes to Mr. Adam Lee. Adam, don't get me wrong, it's a dope photo. I want you to improve the contrast, and I want you to be thinking about how you can really be showing brand. That's what we're paying. That's what people are paying you for, to show them as a brand, not to include them in yes, we got to include them in a scene, blah, 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 but you got to get closer, okay? That is Mr. Lee. Thank you for submitting, Adam. All right. Who is next on the photo of the week train? Let's close that. Let's go back over here. No. Ah, here we go. Okay, who's next here? Oh, yes. Here we go. A nice little photo of the week from Mr. Kivian Durrett. Kivian, let's get it on. I'm giving you a photo of the week for this one, my guy. This is a yes. This is a nice, clean editorial portrait. Works as a cover. A couple of distractions I mentioned, but overall, this is a yes for me. Kivian, you did well. Very good. Kivian Durrett. Who else do we got here? Woulda won. Coulda won. Okay, we are giving some love to Mr. Lamont DeSalle. Lamont, well done, buddy. This is a level up for you. You're definitely, again, for you, I'm stripping you back. I'm pulling you back. I do need to see location stuff. I do need you to talk to your retoucher and not let him go crazy on your images. But there's something there. Retouch this one, though, and fix all of that stuff that I showed you, okay? All right. Again, another shooter. I like this picture too much to not give. And again, it's the best photos of the day. I want you to listen to everything that I said, miss, but know that still it really does hit hard. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jay Tracy. Jay, this is a yes, Jay. But no, it's a no, but it's a yes. You know what I mean? It's a no, but it's a yes. I hope that you have another edit, and I hope that you can reshoot something like this. Again, watch the elbows. The suit's great, but again, be trying to think like you're also shooting for swimwear companies. How can you be shooting stuff that actually a bikini company would hire you to do? That's another idea for you. I would shoot a whole bikini campaign underwater, and then on spec. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Tracy. Well done, Jay. Well done. It's a photo of the week. All right. Who's next? Yes. This, again, I'm on the fence, but still, it works. It works for me, but I also know you, Daniel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Daniel Van Cleef. Van Cleef, you heard everything I said. This will stay, but not for long. Because you're going to shoot this girl and you're going to get something better that's not quite as busy. But this works. It's dynamic. I like it. All right. That's Daniel Van Cleef. And this photographer. I haven't seen this one in a while. Haven't seen her in person on Zoom in a while. But she's definitely been in behind the scenes out shooting photos and crushing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jennifer Grace. Jennifer, that's a photo of the week, girl. Really well done. Really pretty. Really beautiful sensibility. It feels like home. It feels like outdoors. It feels like Maine. It feels like New England. It's beautiful. This is amazing, Jen. You did a great job. You did a great job. And our last and final photo of the week goes to Mr. LinkedIn. You know him as Joseph Baldwin. Joseph, that's a photo of the week, buddy. Really clean, really like it, really easy sensibility. I love that. I love that you tried something new. It's really special, really dope. Guys, those are our photos of the week. I'm going to do a little glance to see. And again, today, there are no best in shows. There is an honorable mention. I am going to give this one photographer an honorable mention. This photographer, his name is Gerard Danso. Gerard, I'm giving you honorable mention here. This is so close. This is so close. But I do believe after this review, you are going to make a couple adjustments as far as your background choices and your body language and deliver me something that's going to be great. Okay, so I see you. All right, guys, this is our next task. You need to know what your assignment is for next week. Next week's assignment, because you made it to the end, as a bonus for making it to the end, I tell the hardcore people who watch all my shit today what the assignment is for next week, Thursday. That's due next week, Wednesday, midnight. This is the vibe, okay? I want you to make an environmental portrait, okay? And week 17 is environmental portrait. Now, let me describe this. Environmental. I want you to make one strong image that shows your ideal subject in context, using their environment to reveal who they are, what they do, why they do it, or why it matters. If you're a people shooter, take a portrait of your subject in a real space that gives context to their story. Imagine it's a chef in their home kitchen. It's a dancer backstage moments before they start. The whole goal is the space and the subject feel connected, not separate, okay? If you shoot places, I want you to photograph a space that hints at a human presence or purpose. Imagine it's an empty barber shop at dawn, lit with natural light, but there's no people in the room. The whole goal here is the environment tells the story. So if you're a places photographer, you can make this photo with no people at all, okay? And if you shoot things, I want you to shoot that product or that thing or that object in use, not in isolation. Imagine it's a vintage camera. It's on a old, used, lived-in desk. Like you're shooting a product, like you're shooting a skincare product, take it and put it in a waterfall and shoot that skincare product in a beautiful waterfall. Like environmental pictures. I want you to use natural or fake natural light, okay? Like meaning add strobe with natural or make strobe look like natural. I want you to avoid clutter. I want you to avoid it being too yellow, too blue, too much of a color cast. And I want you to compose with depth. I want to feel like, I want to be in there. I need one final image showing a subject inside a meaningful space. I want one sentence explaining what you're doing. One sentence, not one sentence. This is this. Don't tell me how you lit it, because I can tell. Don't tell me what you lit it with, because it doesn't matter. And it's like, don't tell me that technical. I shot with the AD600. It's like, I don't care. 2 light setup, 1 left, 1 right. Like I can do the rest. Okay, keep it super tight. The whole goal is that your subject and your space, they feel integrated, and there's a clear visual story. And there's strong composition. There's strong line choices. And by the way, Why this matters? This is how working pros build narrative. Okay? Context creates connection. Eye contact and context creates connection. I want you to show your subject's world, not just their face. I want you to show the space. I want you to show the product within the space, the face within the space alone with no people that also vibrates. Super simple. Environmental image within your niche. This is a horizontal image. And it is a double page spread, which means nothing in the center. Do not compose on the thirds, compose on the quarters. It is due Wednesday at midnight. No show on Thursday. That means no portfolio lab hangout on Thursday. The whole thing. I mean, there'll probably be a portfolio lab hangout. People will go. People will hang out. You can hang out in my Zoom. But Friday will be the portfolio review show. I think that's how we're going to do it. Guys, I hope today brought you value. Let's make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, by the way, if you like my t-shirt and you want to buy the gaff tape t-shirt, there should be a little thing down here that says product. You can click that. It'll take you right to the merch store. You can buy it. All of my t-shirts are limited edition, meaning like when they're done, they're done. And I do them just for fun. I sell, not that many of them. But look, they got the Carty method right here. It's a nice vibe, and it really looks like duct tape or gaff tape. And people actually ask you, like, is that tape? And you're like, oh no, it's printed in, and it's a conversation. And then are you a photographer? And you're like, yeah. And then you start talking, and it becomes a conversation piece, and then you end up working for them. Guys, I hope today brought you value.
This live stream was brought to you by Pixpa, the best website builder for photographers and creatives, and Indie, the best way to run your freelance business, and by you, the members and subscribers of the Carty Method. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month to show your support for our content, and we'll reward you. You get How ready are you to be a pro? Take the Carty Method Pro Photographer's Readiness Scorecard. You'll always find helpful links in the show notes. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert. Even if the content you're sharing isn't yours, be a curator and share this content with your network. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.